Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste me, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, you know where to find me. And if you're going hate this, you can fucking bite me. I'll be cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, nah, unlikely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane. Making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains. I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things. Gonna make a f***ing name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain. I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste me, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, you know where to find me. And if you're going hate this, you can fucking bite me. Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent, and it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots, if I miss all, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. That energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you want to taste me, you can try me. If you want to hate this, you know where to find me. And if you're going hate this, you can fight me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste me, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, you know where to find me. And if you're going hate this, you can fucking bite me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world can do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself.
Hey, everybody. Let's bring Mac J up. Can you hear me now? Mac J's just having problems with her sound at the moment. How are we all? Sorry about that. Every time I swear, I have everything ready, and then as soon as I'm ready to go live, my computer decides that I'm just going to shut down. And it does. Okay, Mac J is going to reset her computer. So she'll be back with us in a minute. Who have we got in here? Hi, Jody. How are you, my darling? Spirit time. Kaz, I thought you weren't going to come and watch, but welcome in. Tammy, how are you, my darling? I hope you're all right. Been worried about you with your surgery. Ryan, Mark, how are you all? So today, before I start, I just want to send prayers to everyone in Bondi. I know some people have heard. I've had some messages. I am going to put together something for what happened. But we had a person go through Bondi Junction's Westfield, what's a big shopping centre here. He had a knife and, do you mean you can guess what happened? 6 people have passed. We have 12 people in hospital. Sadly, one of them, trigger warning, was a month-old baby who has been operated on, and we're still waiting to hear, but she is in intensive care. But as I said, I will do a separate live. I just want to send all my prayers to anyone that is involved in it, because it's a very sad event. It's not what today's live's about, but I just wanted to send my prayers and touch on it. But as I said, I will put something together on the channel about what happened. There's still a lot of information. Obviously, it only happened at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, so there's still a lot of information coming through. Now, as I've reset, I've got to pull everything up again. Okay, I'm not going to share screen. So we're going over the Daybell case. So I know a lot of people know that Chad Daybell at the moment is going through his court trial. Laurie has already been through hers, but we thought we'd go back to the start, go over the timeline. I'm trying to pull up. So we're going to go over the timeline, and then I've had permission from Reverend Donna to go over her reading that she did on the case, or her findings of her readings that she did on the case. So we thought we'd just touch on and watch some of that as well. I know Mac J's coming back. She's just resetting her computer. So we'll just start. So it's only part one. We will go over other parts of it, but this is just part one. So we're going back to before 2019. Chad and Tammy Daybell married on March 9th, 1990 in Utah, according to her obituary. The couple raised their family in Springville, Utah, where they established Spring Creek Book Company, through which Chad published many of his books. The couple had 5 children before moving to Salem, Idaho in 2015, and Tammy was employed as a school librarian at the time. Hi, Lady Spitfire. How are you, my darling? This is a hard case to go over, so much stuff. I know, and I've tried to put it into one timeline. I'm probably going to miss heaps. I know that, but I've just tried to put as much as I could into a timeline just to give us... And it's so sad too. I'm good, my darling. I'm getting there. We had my granddaughter's birthday yesterday, so I'm very tired and sore, but she went to a jump park and had all her school friends because she's been on school holidays. They really enjoyed seeing each other. So in 2006, marriage records show that Laurie Ryan marries her 4th husband, Charles Fallow. Laurie entered the marriage with her son, Colby, and Tylee, the daughter, with her 3rd husband, who was Joseph Ryan Jr. In 2014, Charles and Laurie adopted Joseph, what most of us know as JJ Vallow. He is the biological grandson of Charles' sister, Kay Woodcock, who is married to Larry Woodcock. Grandkids can wear you down. I know. And the worst thing is mine live with me, so I can't actually give them back. But I adore and I love having them here. They wear me down, but I wouldn't have it any other way. So here's a picture of Laurie and Charles on their wedding day. Hi, Kitty Witty. Welcome in. Social media posts indicate that sometime in 2014, the Vallows moved to Kauai. I don't know if I've pronounced that right, in Hawaii. The couple operated a small business on the island. The family then moves back to the mainland between 2016 and 2017. Joseph Ryan passed away on April 3rd, 2018. According to the medical examiner's report, the cause of death is ruled a heart attack. He is cremated, and little other information is available on his passing. So he was the husband before Charles. So that's Laurie and Joseph Ryan on their wedding day. Can't believe the bullshit the defense has been saying. I know. It's crazy. I wanted to go over it, but I wanted to start with a timeline so that we could work our way in, kind of thing. My darling, can you hear us now?
Yes, I had to switch.
So I was just saying I had everything ready, and then my computer decided that it was just before the live, it was going to reset.
I couldn't hear anything, so I had to switch from computer to another device. So if the sound's not as good, that's probably why.
No, we can hear you. It's all right.
Okay.
So we're just going over the timeline to start.
All right.
So Chad and Laurie met in the fall of 2018 at a religious conference in St. George, Utah. A felony incident indicates that on October 26, 2018, Laurie and Chad began discussing their religious beliefs to justify the passing of Tammy, JJ, and Tylee, and prayers to all of their families.
Yes.
Around the time, Chad and Laurie make their first recording together on the Preparing a People podcast, Time to Warrior Up. The two record with others on several podcasts. Many focus on the end of the world, and Preparing a People has since removed the podcast, and it's publicly dissolved itself from the couple.
Damn.
I know you know this case more than me too, so if I've missed any important events.
Oh, no, you're good.
Amazon police body cam footage, and we will try and go through them later, shows Charles pleading for Laurie to receive mental health help at community bridges on January 31st. Officers determined that she had a normal state of mind and she was medically cleared at the community bridges. You're right.
Have you seen the body cam?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad.
Really
I don't know what I would have done if I was Charles.
No, me neither.
So Charles files for divorce from Laurie. So that body cam's the one where he came home from work and she taken everything off him, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So Charles files for divorce from Laurie in February. He claims that she viewed herself as a god preparing for the second coming of Christ. According to court documents, Charles also says that Laurie told him that she would take his life if he got in her way of performing her mission. Divorce proceedings are later paused after Charles says he wants to make the marriage work again. So anyone that's followed it by this time is when Laurie's saying that he's a dark light, and she has all these things with dark lights, lights, people that are good, people that are bad.
Oh, it's crazy.
Charles was repossessed by somebody. I can't remember the name, but
there was a bunch of stuff. Like if you can find it, there's this whole dang book by Chad, and I'm like, oh, I read the thing.
Have
Maybe
you?
we can. Yes, well, what I can find of it online, but yeah, maybe I'll put it up on the Discord if I can just find it.
Yeah. So Laurie goes to Hawaii in February for nearly 2 months and leaves JJ and Tylee with others. She spends time with friends and is in communication with Chad nearly every day. Around June, Laurie's niece, Melanie Brodadex, and her husband, Brandon Brodadex, decide to divorce. Brandon claims that Melanie is affiliated with similar beliefs as her aunt and has joined a cult. And I think a cult is probably the best word to describe the whole thing.
Oh, definitely.
On July 11th, Laurie's brother, Alex Cox, shoots Charles and he passes away. Alex says that the shooting was in self-defense. By the end of August, Laurie, Tylee, JJ, and Alex all moved to Rexburg, Idaho. Now, I know there is footage of that as well. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it was self-defense. It was definitely more than that, but
There was a life insurance policy, I believe.
yeah. And that's what I mean. There is so much more. We're just going through sort of the main parts.
Yeah, guys, it's a huge case. It's just, we could go live for like a week straight and still not cover everything.
So this is Laurie's brother, Alex, who, and this is just in my opinion, do you know what I mean? He was right there with Laurie the whole way, and I think he's just as guilty as both Laurie and Chad for everything that's happened and the lives that were lost.
Agree.
It's not something he can prove, but I think he was her right-hand man other than Chad.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, this guy, don't they still have the text messages of Alex, I believe?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And we'll get into all that, Jim. As I said, it's just a quick over thing, but yeah, there's a lot. Alex played a lot of into the story of it.
Yeah.
So days after Charles passes, Chad sends multiple texts to Laurie in what investigators called a romance novel. Chad, who is still married to Tammy, describes in detail a sexual relationship between James and Ellen, the names he uses to substitute for himself and Laurie. So they had, as Mac just said, all these texts, but they renamed different people. Like, how would you explain? They just give each other different names so that they can try and cover up what they're saying in their texts. I think it's the best way to describe it.
Oh, yes. And there's one that haunts me, but we'll get to that later.
So on September 8th, Tylee and JJ, Laurie and Alex visit Yellowstone National Park. Officials say this is the last time that anyone saw Tylee alive. The FBI later asks for help for anyone who may have photos of the family taken that day in the park. How did these 2 or 3 nutters think they could get away with all of this and not end up in prison? I know. She thought she was getting insurance, but changed the benefits to his sister. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And did she go off about that too?
Oh, she did. There's a. I believe you
I
can
think I
find
read
the.
yesterday though she still got 60,000 out of Charles's passing anyway.
Yeah, she
Even with
did.
the life insurance being changed, she still got a fair
Probably
chunk of
did that so she didn't unalive his sister.
it. So Chad signs an application with Temmie on September 8th to increase her life insurance to a maximum amount allowed on the policy. And on September 9th, phone records place Alex on Chad's property in the general area where investigators would eventually find Taylor's remains. The same day, Chad allegedly texts Temmie saying that he shot a raccoon and buried it in their pet cemetery.
That's the one.
Yeah. Yep. We've just got to realize again, as I said, they have different names or they rename people. And I do know that the raccoon is supposed to be one of the children. Very big trigger warnings, but it's going to get worse as we get into it. And who would ever want to go to a pool party at that house? I know. It's crazy. Just as Mark puts it up, it's crazy. So Laurie enrolls JJ at Kennedy Elementary School in Rexburg on September 3rd. Less than 3 weeks later, JJ attends class for the last time, and his mother tells the school she will not be she'll now be homeschooling her child. And Tylee was never enrolled in any school in Idaho, even though Laurie claims that her daughter is attending BYU in Idaho, which she never attended. In October, Melanie moves to a townhouse in the same housing complex of Laurie and Alex.
Mm-hmm.
I had to put this one in because they are the victims of this case so much. They are
They
so
are. Breaks my heart. I mean, they wanted to they still wanted to collect the check from both of these two, especially JJ, because JJ had autism. So yeah, it's really sad, and they're sick. I mean, this case just I hate them.
Like, I don't know what it's like overseas. I mean, we all know I have a son that is autistic, and I know I got a little bit extra because of that, but that was before NDIS came out. Obviously, I mean, my son's over 18 now. He gets his own money. He's on a disability pension, but he gets his own money, and NDIS sort of covers everything. And that's not money that you get in your hand. I mean, that's just sort of covers what programs he needs, but I don't know what it was like in America.
No.
Like cash payments they get for disabilities, but we see it all the time, so I'm sure they get a bit.
Oh, they do.
Yeah. But they're just beautiful children. Beautiful.
They are. I'd have to go back through it, but in the court filings, you can find out exactly what the exact payment was Laurie and Chad were getting for these two. But yeah, you can find them on the court website.
Yeah. Okay, so on October 1st, Laurie rents a 10 by 10 storage unit from Self Storage Plus in Rexburg. Surveillance video at the facility, exclusively obtained by the East Idaho News, shows Laurie and a man visiting the unit 9 times in October and once in November. Often the man who appears to be Alex comes along. Another visit shows Alex and a man who appears to be Chad during one visit, and Chad and Laurie visit the storage faculty together.
I think that the time when Chad and Laurie visit together is when they were unaliving JJ. That's in my opinion. Maybe.
Yeah. I think it was the 23rd they said his.
Oh, right.
October, it could have been though, like, do you know what I mean? We don't know. On October 2nd, Brandon returns from the gym to his Arizona home where he's shot at with the, I can't see, hang on, with the bullet missing his head by inches. The shooter was driving a Jeep registered to the then deceased Charles Vallow. The same day, Laurie purchases a wedding ring on Amazon and later seen on her finger at her beach wedding with Chad.
Ugh. I see this is like the trail that they left.
Mm-hmm. I know, it's amazing the body count that came behind the two of them. I'd say just Laurie, but the two of them, really.
I think the first husband as well, but I don't think they can prove it.
So on October 9th, Tammy calls 911 and says that a masked man shot her in her driveway with a paintball gun. She posts about the experience on Facebook, saying that she had no idea who the person was or why they would shoot at her. Court documents later indicate that Alex was the one that attempted to shoot Tammy that day. Yeah. Chad had no chance, I know. 10 days later, Chad calls 911 and says that Tammy's passed away in her sleep at the Salem home. Detectives visit the home and the coroner rules Tammy passed of natural causes without performing an autopsy. Tammy is buried at the Evergreen Cemetery in Springville, on October 22nd, and the family holds a memorial service in Roxburgh the following day.
Yep.
Okay, so 2 weeks after Tammy's passing, Chad and Laurie are, I can't see behind that, in Hawaii on November 5th. They return to Roxburgh over the coming weeks. Chad told neighbours that Laurie had no minor children. Police also say that Laurie told people that Tylee passed years earlier.
Oh my gosh, of course she did.
On November 26th, the Roxburgh Police Department conducts a welfare check for JJ at the request of his grandparents. And can I tell you, his grandparents went through so much in this case. And the only thing I can say that I've been happy about was seeing Laurie get her justice and the grandfather after the court case. Like, I still remember him walking out of that courtroom once Laurie went away.
Me too.
So the grandparents was Larry and Kay Woodcock. They had not spoken with JJ in months. JJ is not at the townhouse on Pioneer Road, and Laurie tells officers her son is with a friend, Melanie Gibbs, in Arizona. Police soon determined that JJ was not with Melanie, and I think Melanie actually rang Laurie and got
in
up
prison
saying that JJ was with her.
Yeah, that was when she was arrested before the trial, and she rings up Laurie demanding answers, and Laurie's like, Oh no, Laurie just lies and lies and lies and lies.
Yeah. So this is Tammy Daybell. I just wanted to put her. I've just put some pictures in just to kind of show who we're talking about. But this is Tammy, what was Chad's wife.
Beautiful person.
Yeah. So the next morning, November 27th, the Roxburgh Police Department serves a search warrant for Laurie's townhouse, where officers arrive. Chad and Laurie are gone. The court documents indicate that on December 1st, Chad and Laurie catch an American airline flight to 𝔭𝔦𝔪𝔢 in Hawaii. The children are not with the parents. On December 6th, Melanie Gibb contacts the Rexburg Police Department and tells officers that Chad and Laurie called her on November 26th, and she says the couple asked her to lie about the location of JJ. So that would have been the phone call that I was...
Yeah, that would. Phone call. Yeah. Well, I think there's two. One to the police and one where Laurie's confronted before the trial.
So here's Chad and Laurie. The Fairmont County Sheriff's Office determines that Tammy Daybell's death is suspicious and her body is exhumed on December 11th. An autopsy is performed in Utah and results are not released, but the public later learns that Tammy passed due to asphyxiation. On December 12th, Alex dies in Gilbert, Arizona at the age of 51 in a police interview. Months after his passing, Alex's wife, 𝔖𝔭𝔦𝔯𝔦𝔱, I can't even pronounce the wife's name, speaks with officers, and she says a few days before Alex's passing, he told her a bag of money was hidden in the closet in case anything happened to him. What was very strange, if you ask me.
I agree.
On December 20th, the Rexburg Police Department announced JJ and Tylee are missing, and the police say the disappearance is possibly linked to the suspicious death of Tammy. And the following day, the police call Chad and Laurie as persons of interest. Meanwhile, they're in Hawaii having the time of their life. On December 23rd, Sean Buthlock, the Rexburg attorney representing the Daybells, releases a statement calling Chad and Laurie loving and devoted. He says allegations will be addressed once they move beyond the rumors and speculation.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just find it funny that the attorney's about rumors and speculation, and yet it was the psychic who was able to tell what happened.
So on December 30th, the Rexburg Police Department issued a news release saying they have information indicating that Laurie knows either the location of the children or what has happened to them. They call the parents lack of cooperation.
Astonishing.
Tammy. Okay, so a local investigators, the FBI, serve a search warrant on Chad's home in Salem on January 3rd. They recover 43 documents and medications. These are sent to the FBI lab in Salt Lake City for further analyzation. On January 7th, Larry and Kay Woodcock traveled to Rexburg from their home in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and announced a $20,000 reward for information leading to the kids. So this is about the time that Reverend Donna done her reading. We are going to go over that, like the results of those readings, but it was while the children were missing and everyone was still looking for them. And that's why it's so astonishing that she had so many of them correct.
Exactly.
So this is the grandparents. Chad ran out of money and the lawyer is upset and working for free now. Is he?
Yep.
So this was the beautiful grandparents. As I said, they went through so much. They were the ones guiding the whole search. If it wasn't for them looking for JJ, do you know what I mean? They probably would have got away with more.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could stay, but I'm not feeling very well. I'm so sorry. I need to lay down. I'm sending you prayers, Tammy. I'll message you later. I hope you're okay.
Yeah.
So Chad Daybell's brother, Matt Daybell, pleads for him to cooperate with the investigation on January 10th. Matt says his immediate family has little association with Chad due to the concerns about his extreme religious claims and his books. On January 25th, the Kalgoorlie Police Department serves Laurie with a notice stating she must produce JJ and Tylee to the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare or the Rexburg Police Department within 5 days.
I believe East Idaho News. Oh yeah, you've got it.
Sorry, I've got a bike going past. I'm right on a corner. Our house is right on a corner, so when traffic comes, it's really loud. And of course, I'm right at the front of the house. So,
Oh dang.
EastIdahoNews.com report Nate Eden, what we all should know by now, confirmed that Chad and Laurie are in Hawaii on January 26 after police stopped them at the Kalgoorlie Beach Resort. Law enforcement seizes the couple's rental car and search their rental townhouse in Princeville, Hawaii. The parents refuse to say where the children are. So on January 30th, Laurie misses the 5 p.m. deadline to produce JJ and Tylee, and Kay holds a news conference expressing her disappointment. On February 3rd, EastIdahoNews.com visits the storage unit where Laurie abandoned several of the kids' items.
Yeah, that's what makes me think.
They use a storage shed.
Yeah.
On February 12th, Kay tells the East Idaho News that in February 20... I can't even see what I've put there. Charles removed Laurie from a $1 million life insurance policy, and Kay was named the sole beneficiary of it. So February 20th, police in Kahui arrest Laurie on a $5 million warrant out of Madison County. She's charged with 2 felony counts of desperation and non-support of dependent children. She is also charged with arrests and seizures, resisting or obstructing officers, criminal solicitation to commit a crime, and contempt of court. Willfully disobedience of the court proceeds or order. So that was because she didn't produce the children. On February 26, Lori waives her expedition to Idaho after 6 days behind bars in Hawaii. The waiver comes after multiple attempts to reduce the bail, but that failed.
Yep.
Idaho authorities exhibit Lori from Hawaii to Rexburg on March 5th. They arrive at the Rexburg airport and Nate Easton attempts to speak with her before she's taken to Madison County Jail. Lori makes her initial court appearance in Rexburg on March 6th. Hundreds wait in line hoping to catch a glimpse of the hearing where Magistrate Judge Fadden Edens reduces bail to $1 million, but she remains in jail unable to post bond. On April 9th, EastIdahoNews.com obtains a letter from the Idaho Attorney General stating that Chad and Lori are under investigation for conspiracy and attempted passings and or the passing. So they knew by then that something could happen. I can't pronounce half these words. The Maricopa
Neither can I.
County Medical Examiner releases Alex's autopsy on May 8th. He says that he passed of natural causes due to his blood clots in his lungs.
I call
Sorry.
BS.
Yeah, so do I. Melanie Gibbs breaks her silence during an interview with EastIdahoNews.com and reveals explosive new details. And around 7 a.m. on June 9th, the Rexburg Police Department, FBI, and Fairmont County Sheriff Office serve a warrant on Chad's home, and within hours, investigators discovered human remains buried at the property. They're later identified as those of JJ and Tyler.
So yeah, make note of that date. June the 9th. Oh, I'm just saying, make note of the date June the 9th on chat, because that when you see the video, you'll see that Reverend did in predates June the 9th.
Yeah, it was like 6 months before they found the children, the reading that she done, like the reading she was doing.
So creepy.
But if you actually, like, we're only going to go over one of her videos today. If you actually go, she has a whole playlist on this, and there's, I think I said, like, there's heaps of them. She done quite a few readings. Around 11:30 on June 9th. Did I just read that one? No. Chad was taken into custody about a mile from his home. He's booked into the Fremont County Jail on 2 felony charges. Chad makes his first court appearance on 10th via a video from the jail, and bail is set at $1 million. Memorials are set up along the fence of the property where the children were found, and several candlelight vigils are held in their honor.
I'll just add something to this. In the initial media frenzy, it was actually JJ's grandfather who was there and coming out and speaking to the media, like at the actual property. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Larry K. Wood.
Yeah.
They were behind that's what I mean. Like, they were the heroes of this case. They were the ones that got the police looking for the children. They were there right through it. And even when Laurie went to court, they were there every single day to make sure that she got her punishment.
Yep. She got off.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh no, we'll get to that. Yes, so don't worry.
On June 29th, prosecutors filed charges against Laurie, including 2 felony counts of conspiracy to commit destruction and alteration or concealment of evidence.
Yep.
On July 2nd, prosecutors dismissed 2 felony counts and non-support of children against Laurie. And on July 15th, she pleads not guilty to misdemeanors, resisting or obstructing officers, criminal solicitation to commit a crime, and contempt of court. So on August 3rd and 4th, Chad's preliminary hearing is held in Fremantle County. Friends, investigators, and witnesses testify, and Magistrate Judge Farrar Adams concludes the prosecution has enough probable cause to advance the case to the district court. Laurie waives her preliminary hearing scheduled on August 10th and 11th in the Fairmont County, and the case advances to the district court.
Yep.
Okay, Chad is arraigned before the District Judge Stephen on August 21st. He pleads not guilty to the felony charges. This is what astounds me, is that they keep pleading not guilty like they aren't going to get caught.
Oh. I mean, Chad even now is just gaslighting and saying, oh, it's all Laurie. Just,
Madison County Prosecutor Attorney Rod Wood files a motion on September 1st asking to combine the cases for Chad and Laurie. He says having the cases together will be more efficient since he plans to present the same evidence and witnesses. On September 10th, Laurie is arraigned in the district court, where she pleads not guilty to the 2 felony counts of conspiracy to commit destruction and the alteration of the concealment of evidence. On October 19th, the anniversary of Tammy Daybell's passing, her parents and siblings announced the creation of the Tammy Douglas Daybell Foundation to honor her legacy of service and love of literature. On November 5th, EastIdahoNews.com obtains an audio recording of Laurie saying that she was going to the passing of her 3rd husband, Joseph Ryan, while speaking at a meeting in October 2018. She says she became closer to God and ultimately did not need to act against Joe. It was Joseph.
I can't even with her.
So 2021, on February 4th, the Fremantle County Sheriff announces Tammy's autopsy is complete, but details are not released. The same day, newly elected Fremont County Prosecutor Attorney Leslie Blake requests Tammy's death investigation case be set back to her office from the Idaho Attorney General. The AG, so the Attorney General, transfers the case. On March 22nd, Wood, who is the grandparents, adds veteran Missouri homicide attorney Rachel Smith to assist the team in the case. On May 24th, a grand jury indicts Chad and 𝔱𝔦𝔪𝔢, new felony charges, including first-degree passings and conspiracy to commit the passings. Prosecutors announced that the charges during a May 25th news conference, releasing the indictment containing the additional information surrounding the passings of Tylee, JJ, and Tammy. On June 8th, 𝔱𝔦𝔪 is committed to the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare. A psychologist deems her unfit for trial, and Boyce agrees that she cannot assist in her defense. And I know she kept using that to put the case off again and again. Chad pleads not guilty to all counts of his indictment on June 9th, and his children sit behind him in the courtroom. Are they in the court at the moment?
I believe so. Do you mean JJ's grandparents?
No, Chad's children.
Yes. They're not. They're due. I haven't actually caught up, but I know in the that they're gonna. The defense's strategy involves using the family as like witness. Like, I don't know specifically who, but yeah. So I'm assuming whoever the witnesses are from the family, from the children, is going to be there at the trial until.
Yeah, they might not let them in until they give their evidence.
Exactly.
Okay, so on June 24th, a grand jury in Arizona indicts 𝔱𝔦𝔪 on conspiracy to commit the passings in the death of Charles Vallow. Prosecutors decline to file charges against Chad, saying there is no reasonable likelihood of a conviction, and that's against Charles. On July 29th, the prosecutors dropped the destruction, alteration of concealment of evidence charges against Chad and 𝔱𝔦𝔪, and the prosecutors announced on August 5th that they will seek the death penalty against Chad, saying the nature and multitude of these crimes warrant the possibility of the highest possible punishment. So I know 𝔱𝔦𝔪 had it taken off the table, but Chad hasn't.
Yes, 𝔱𝔦𝔪 had it. Do you have it on the? I'll just say it. 𝔱𝔦𝔪 had it taken. Hers taken off due to the case being severed into separate cases again. Something to do with the time. Some sort of time lapse or something.
Yeah. So in a September interview with 48 Hours, Chad's children say their father was framed and their mother passed of asphyxiation. Following a change of venue hearing on October 5th, Boyce rules the Daybell trial will be moved from Fremantle County to Ada County. On October 7th, Chandler, Arizona police release the entire case file for the investigation into Charles' passing, including the gigabytes of never-before-seen video interviews, audio recordings, text messages, and police reports. On December 28th, Boyce orders that Mark Means, 𝔱𝔦𝔪's attorney, can no longer represent her, and Boyce cites the conflict of interest in Means representing both Chad and 𝔱𝔦𝔪, as well as concerns over his legal competency of effectiveness.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't have been able to have the same lawyer.
No. Oh. Huh?
They might just say the kids' mum just passed and Chad is already getting. I know. They were all planning it before the text messages between them. Do you know what I mean? They tried a couple of times on Tammy's passing before they actually succeeded. And I think Laurie actually moved there before Tammy had passed as well. She was.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Ozzy, but according to the timeline, isn't it that Tylee was unalived before Tammy, and Tammy actually, yeah.
Yeah. So 2022. In March, Arizona prosecutors announced that they will not conspiracy to commit the passing charges against Chad in the attempted shooting case of Brandon. They cited no response likelihood of the conviction as the reason. Boyce denies a request from John Pryor on March 21st to sever Chad's case from Laurie's. And on April 11th, Boyce issues a written order saying that Laurie is now competent and fit to proceed for trial. She is ordered to be released from the Department of Health and Welfare facility. Two weeks after the hearing, Laurie's attorney filed a motion asking for cameras to be banned from the courtroom. Prosecutors support the motion as 𝔖𝔭𝔦𝔯𝔪𝔢 joins with over 24 other media outlets in opposition. And Boyce grants the motion, and all cameras are banned from future court hearings and the trial.
Can I insert a fun fact here?
Mm-hmm.
In the Brian Kohberger case, the defense will actually, and prosecutors actually use Judge Boyce's granting of the motion regarding the cameras for their motion to not have cameras.
Well, we still got the audio of Laurie's, but I really hope with the Idaho murders that we get to see it, because boy, do I want to watch him go down. Just in my opinion. On October 6th, Laurie's case is put on hold due to competency issues. A month later, she's found competent again for trial, but the originally scheduled January start date is postponed until April 3rd, 2023. That's what I mean. She just kept using the system to put it off and put it off.
What she does midway through the trial, she just me.
On March 2nd, the district judge, Steve Boyce, rules Laurie and Chad's cases will be severed, meaning that there will be two trials after new evidence is submitted regarding the DNA testing.
Oh, that's right. That's what it was. Okay.
Laurie's trial is scheduled to begin April 3rd, and Boyce grants the motion for Laurie's attorneys to take the death penalty off the table. The judge says the main reason is due to a large amount of evidence that prosecutors turned over late. This would not allow the team enough time to go through it all before the trial started. So Laurie's trial began in Ada Court on April 3rd. You can find summaries of the witness testimony and details of each day as well.
Yep.
On May 12th, a jury finds Laurie guilty of first-degree murder of JJ and Tylee. She's also found guilty of conspiring to commit the passings of JJ and Tylee and Tammy and grand theft. A few days after the verdict, a juror speaks with East Idaho News and says if there was a face to evil, it was her. So in mid-May, Arizona officials released the information that a grand jury indicted Lori on February 24th, 2022 for the conspiracy to commit the passing of Brandon Bodwak.
I cannot pronounce that guy's name.
Neither could I. That's my worst thing, is just the pronunciation of some of them. On July 31st, Boyce orders Lori to serve 3 life sentences without parole. Family members of the victims speak during the sentencing hearing, and for the first time, Lori addresses the public and quotes Bible verses about how people should not judge each other.
Oh, don't even at me. I mean, I heard that and I just
couldn't believe it when I heard it.
I just want to.
Lori is moved to the Protella Women's Correctional Center on August 1st, and in September, Lori files an appeal and asks the Idaho Supreme Court to examine the case, a guilty verdict and sentence. In October, Boyce orders JJ's remains to be turned over to his family, and Tylee's remains are released in December.
Damn it. So you'll hear about this in the video that, well, I don't know if it's on your timeline, but did you put in the state of the children's remains in the timeline? No. Okay.
No, because Reverend Donna goes over that.
Oh, okay.
On November 29th, Boyce rules the courtroom cameras live stream and Chad Daybell's trial to the public when it begins on April 1st, 2024. On November 29th, the McCartney County Sheriff deputies transport Lori from the Protella Women's Correctional Center to Maricopa County Jail in Arizona, where she is processed and booked during a news conference. The sheriff says once Lori's case is over in Arizona, she will return to Idaho. Lori pleads not guilty to all Arizona charges on December 7th.
Of course she does.
So 2024, less than 3 months before the trial, John Pryor, Chad's attorney, files a motion to withdraw from the case, and Boyce denies it. After staying in the Fremantle County Jail for nearly 4 years, Chad Daybell is moved to the Outer County Jail in Boise on March 21st in preparation for his trial. And that brings us to today. Of course, the trial has started, but we'll get to that when we do.
Yes, we might even, I'll talk to Ozzy about it, but we might even be able to watch some of it together with the members on, what's that thing called again? Discord. Yeah.
Now, I'm just going to find the reading that we wanted to watch because I reset everything.
Oh, no.
It's gone. It's all right. I can find it again. So that was just a quick, as I said, a very quick timeline. There's a lot more to it. But what I was astounded at, and I know a lot of people have things against psychics. I mean, I understand that some people believe.
Yeah.
I have watched Reverend Donna for quite a while. I'm a big fan of hers. But this case and these readings she done probably about 6 months before they found the children. So why the children, like while everyone was still looking for the children, Reverend Donna done this reading.
I'm not on computer, otherwise I would help.
No, I got it. I was just trying to. Okay. Just going to take it back to the start and then I'll share my screen. Now, I do have permission to share this. We are dropping the link, so please make sure you go over and do the likes and all the things, because she has been so generous to let us share this. So this is, as I said, she'll go into it, but this is a psychic reading that was done 6 months prior. So she had done a few readings. This was her actually going over all of the parts, like all of what she had found. So I thought this was the best one to watch. If you want me to stop at any time, MacJ, just say pause and I'll pause it.
Okay.
Psychic impressions to date. I've done several psychic sessions regarding the mystery of all the deaths around Lori Daybell. Somebody, especially if they are family or friends, is going to recognize the location that I describe. If you listen to the recordings, you could see they go slow. I'm in a semi-sleep state. So I'm just going to do an overview of what I've picked up so far. Several weeks ago, I saw the photo pop up on my internet, was immediately drawn to Tylee's eyes. I could feel her life and her sparkle and her effervescence in her eyes. And I saw the headline that her and her brother were missing. I clicked on the article, quickly skimmed it, see if they're still missing. Yes, they are. And I decided to do a session to see what I could pick up. And this is prior to, the case. I also don't have network television in my house, so what I do pick up is off the internet. I asked if this girl tied in spirit, and I received an affirmative response. I was shown pet dogs, or neighborhood dogs tied to a toboggan. This could be a memory of somebody, or it could be a clue. I received an impression of running around at this beautiful lake. There was a sound of laughter there and a little girl that looked about 4 years old running around. The little girl looked as if she was from the past. And when I say that, it means not somebody's current 4-year-old girl, but it looked like a past thing. And that this possible cabin or lake house may have been the childhood family home of somebody related to this case in some way, but it's not clear who. Sometimes they will show you something just to put you in a location or to get you to say something else. So when you're listening to this, my interpretation could be wrong. And that's when mediums usually are wrong, is in their interpretation. So if somebody lived on a pig farm and I thought I saw a statue of a pig, well, that's because they live on a pig farm, but I saw a statue of a pig. So they're trying to show me something. Another time, a person lived in Fallbrook, but what they showed me was a cornucopia, one of those horns with all the fall stuff coming up. So literally, this kind of work is done through telepathy with the spirits, and it's done mostly in images and symbols and, like photos or little video clips, that kind of thing. But the vibe of the place feels to me like where someone would build a second home. Now, saying that, you have to understand that I've only lived in large cities my whole life. And after the first reading, when I looked on the map in Idaho, it looks like a lot of it is that way. It's just really relaxing, lots of space and open areas. So for me, in the visual, I would perceive, oh, that's a place you go on vacation or things. You also have to understand my perception. So I had not looked at a map of the state of Idaho prior to this reading. And what I described in the first reading was a lake that was different than other lakes because this lake was fed by a river and not by the ground, like most lakes that I've ever seen. I say, if you looked to the place where the river fed into the lake and went up anywhere 20 to 75 feet and then up the side, and in about 20 feet, that's where the boy was buried. The upriver might be wider. It is almost like I am upriver, but I see the other side, it might get wider after this narrower part. Now, after the reading, I looked up on Idaho, and apparently the entire place is full of rivers and lakes that are fed by rivers, the whole place. Like there's tons of them. So I recognize that may not help somebody, but you know what? Some of the specifics that I say, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be somebody watching this who knows them, who knows exactly where I'm talking about. Okay, so I received the number 20 very clearly. 20 is very important in this case. It was emphasized. To me, it felt like they were saying from the river's edge, the boy was buried 20 feet up. Okay. But at first I was thinking go 20 feet into that neck where the lake turns into the river, or the river's feeding into the lake, go 20 feet up that way and then go up. But I don't want to be that specific. I just want to say that when you reach a spot, which might not be that far, like 20 to 75 feet, but when you, with normal linkage, you'd go 20 feet in.
After she finishes, I do have a photo of where the children were found. So just take note of what she's saying. And then at the end, we'll show the actual photo of the property.
Also take note of what she says about one of the... Does she say it in this video or is it the next one?
I think it's this one.
Okay. Well, notice what Reverend says about the state of the remains.
Later, I'm seeing there's Highway 20 in Idaho. So, you know, wondering about that too, but just know the number 20 for sure. I in relationship to where his body is. So then a new image comes. So what happens is an image will form, and then I'll like say, and if there's more, they'll keep showing me more, or if that's it, then it will dissipate, and then they'll put in a new image. So the next image I received was a man and woman carrying one person, and that person was wrapped in black plastic with ropes tied about every foot around the outside of the plastic.
Ugh.
It feels like the boy was there.
Did you say pause?
Yeah. No, I just just what she says about the fact that this was before the police and FBI revealed anything. It just it creeps me out.
And like that's the thing, we all know how this ended, but you've got to think that this was 6 months before they were found. And she's so spot on. Like, I don't know about other cases, Jim, and I know some of them she's had, obviously not all of them have been concluded, but this one she was spot on.
Then I have a new impression. They take me and put me back at this cabin or a lake house. And I'm seeing a mountain way off in the distance, but it's a really faint image. So I'm thinking you might not even see it from there and it might not be there. Like I wasn't sure. Are they showing me this to emphasize to me that this is a river coming into the lake? Because before I was never seen anything like this. Or is it just in the distance? I'm not sure. I see, if you look at the where the lake, where If you look up a river where it feeds into the lake and you see like a large boulder on the right, that's where you stop there and go right up in there. So then I started, and the first one started seeing all kinds of really shocking, gross stuff that I myself don't really believe, but I had to say it because that's what I was seeing. And see, this is the difference. I could sit here and do a psychic reading, but if I had a friend or a relative, a coworker, anybody who had a close enough relationship with any of the victims or deceased people related to these two, Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell, then what they do is they'll give evidential details, but then they'll also give stuff that seems random and that only that person and the spirit person would know. So like later when Chad Daybell showed me black and white tile, and then he showed me black and white behind the countertop. And later, like a week or so later, when I did start really looking into this case after the seance, the body camera of the police showed you open where Charles Vallow got shot. You open the front door, there's the black and white tile. When the body cam goes through the kitchen, you see this kind of blurry but black and white behind the counter. And then in Tylee's room, the wall is black and white. So that confirmed to me personally, on a personal level, that yes, I was connected with Charles Vallow. And so that was for me. But that's what I'm talking about. So if there's somebody who knows him, they'll say stuff that we know. And then every single thing I'm getting, we know it's from them. And it's not going sideways. Because I can't even explain. I seriously doubt something I saw. I can't really believe it, but still I don't pick and choose. If I'm doing this, I just say what I see. It, like I said, if there was that, then what I might say something, and then every 2 or 3 things, even about the evidence of the crime, they would go back and show me something, evidence that that person knows, okay, yeah, we're still have him. This is what he's saying, like that. I have reached out and extended an offer, and it still stands across the board of all these people. If you are a friend or loved one or, you know, somebody, you have to know them pretty well. You don't know them super well, but you have to know them well enough to be able to validate evidence. But I feel like the father with the last name Ryan, his name is Joe Ryan. I would think that from spirit,
It was Joseph Ryan, but I just want to. I've completely forgot what I paused it for then. No, memory blank. It will come back to me. I completely forgot what I just paused it for. She just said something in it. No, I'll think of it in a minute and I'll stop it again. I might just go back a bit. It might remind me.
and show me something, evidence that that person knows, okay, yeah, we're still.
Oh, that's it. How she's saying that people that know them well enough to know, do you mean these kind of areas? I think the ones that did, and this is just in my opinion at the time, because they were obviously friends of Chad's and Laurie's, they were either, as we said, in the cult, but also too scared to come forward. So people that did see this, do you know what I mean? I don't think anyone was game enough to come forward and give the evidence.
Not after reading that freaking book. The magnetism of that guy is just scary. I mean,
and that's what I mean. Like, no one, the people that were close to them weren't game to come, and the ones that didn't, that, do you mean family that was close enough to them? Half of them wouldn't have been game to say it, but the other half were actually physically looking for the children too and didn't know.
Yes. I wonder if that's part of the reason Chad's kids won't, well, at least as far as we know currently, because we don't know, because the trial hasn't finished. But I wonder if that's why up in, they currently don't, they say he's in,
Still
and it was
innocent.
all still innocent and it was all Laurie.
I think they don't want to believe it. I mean, you wouldn't want.
No, he wouldn't.
Have him. This is what he's saying, like that. I have reached out and extended an offer, and it still stands across the board of all these people. If you are a friend or loved one or, you know, somebody, you have to know them pretty well. You don't have to know them super well, but you have to know them well enough to be able to validate evidence. But I feel like the father, the father with the last name Ryan, I think his name was Joe Ryan. I would think that from spirit, he would be watching what happened to his daughter. So any family members of him would probably be able to lend help with that. I would be happy to do readings from him. I know for sure Charles has, because 2 of the 4 times that Tylee came to me, this man Charles was with her, and that was before I ever even heard of him. I was not aware of this at first when I did the first reading. This man that was with her who had been shot, and he wanted to talk, and I wouldn't let him talk for a while, and then I let him talk for a little while, and then he was showing me some stuff, and I said, okay, well, I'll look it up afterwards, and if it's legit, then I'll type it up, you know, and send it out or whatever, make it public. But most of it did in fact check for me. So I do 100% know that Charles came through. The thing is, like I said, with somebody who knew Charles, I mean, this somebody could be a friend, a coworker, business partner, loved one, family member. It could be any of the above who's willing to assist, to let Charles speak from the other side, to hear his side of the story. I'm willing to do a free reading, more than one. I am positive Charles was watching every single thing that happened with Tylee and her brother Ryan, and he very much wants to come through, and he wants to. Okay, so anyway, so I was at the lake, seeing all this horrific stuff. I saw something called, I don't even know if it's called a Spitfire. I just feel like calling it that thing where you roast pigs in a fire. So I saw something there. And I also saw a little garage or workshop and outbuilding. So even if this little house has its own garage or not, I don't know. But there's a little building that, and it's more like a workshop. But the outside of this little outhouse has pieces of trim work that could be like 1 inch by 2 inch long boards, like someone was making it to make it look good or something. I'm seeing possible evidence in a drain at this little outbuilding shed. Also a couple times, and I got chills there. I got a couple times I've seen a deep freezer related to the bodies. During the vision, it felt like the girl was placed near there, but it was a separate thing, causing me to wonder if they were murdered or else disposed of separately. So even during this reading, before I learned that there is even any kind of question about it, which I don't know, you know, whether Tylee left Arizona or didn't leave Arizona. At this point, all I'm seeing is these 2 kids are missing from Idaho. But what I was seeing, it was separate. It felt separate from the boy. So I kept trying to place them both at the same place, like what happened to you too. So I don't even want to talk about the method of deaths because it's gross and really doesn't matter if they don't find any bodies. You know, and obviously I hope she's alive. I would love to be wrong. Yeah.
Sadly, she wasn't.
I've been wrong once and I'd be happy to be wrong twice. I really want to be wrong, you know. I don't want to go there. Let's just focus. Okay. So I'm seeing in the vision, I'm seeing the girl again. So I know this is going to be about the girl. It's either going to be the girl telling me something or about the girl, either way. They're showing me the mother's motivation that she did not want the kids to hamper up her life. She feels like a sociopath and she feels slightly amused at the weakness of others. And then I actually start seeing my brother's murder, where the mother of his children believed he had a $500,000 life insurance and he was splitting up and she abandoned her children. And I was seeing that. So they were showing me that. It's not like, ooh, I'm going into my memories. It's they're showing me that. So I'm getting this feeling of a sociopath. And then later I started getting additional impressions of the mother also being a psychopath. So if you had a sociopath to start with, and then she became delusional over time, obsessed with these books, then she becomes a psychopath. So she's a sociopath that lost touch with reality. In my opinion, this is my opinion. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and I'm a former social worker, and I have worked with in the system. But this is only my opinion. Okay. Anyways, next they show me the house again, or the feelings that I picked up or whatever. Next, they show me the house again. I feel like there's a front porch area. It's not a raised up porch. It's a flat porch, like concrete. I cannot even be 100% sure it's attached to the house on the lake. I feel like it is, but I'm not sure. Because I'm seeing it separately. I'm not seeing this whole thing. They're showing me this porch, this flat porch. It might have maybe like a foot high rim of like how they'd put a brick thing to make it feel like a patio, maybe a couple chairs like that. Now you think, who cares? Well, if somebody was there looking and they saw all this in this little outbuilding with these stripes, they'd be like, oh my God, let's walk to the edge, look to the left, down there where the river feeds in, and bam, there it is. So, but the point of it all was that I have been really given strong confirmation that somebody who knows, I feel like saying Chad and Tammy Daybell, somebody who knows all these people will actually know exactly where I'm talking about. Now, so when you're doing psychic work, you get one image after another like that. And sometimes they blend together. That's why it's the mistakes are usually when someone's developed as a medium, the mistakes are usually in the interpretation. So I must feel like this little house may have been built between the 50s and the 70s. Feels like it was once a one story, and possibly somebody later added a second story and maybe even still have two colors of paint. If the bottom story has one color and perhaps they left the top like stained wood, but not sure. I'm not positive. But there's just something like that where you could tell they added maybe a little bit up. It felt like the man went to the location where he buried a body more than one time. It felt like the girl is crying and conveying, I cannot believe my mom would do that to me. So I'm seeing Tylee again, and it feels like she bites her nails.
Pause.
That could be evidence for somebody who knows her. Because again...
Pause.
I did.
Oh, there must be a delay on my end by a few seconds. I just wanted to ask Kaz, what do you mean by Alex ? Was it something Donna said, or? Okay, we'll keep watching. Just let us know what you meant by Alex ? Kaz.
Tylee comes through really strong and she really wants to talk about this. So whatever your religious beliefs are, once you go on the other side, you realize that most of the structures to worship God and be in this love light are man-made and they're influenced, but you're over there and you realize, oh, okay. It's similar, like a lot of religions, it's similar. I probably shouldn't get into all that, but it's Tylee wants to talk. And if I could get anybody that knows her.
How far do you want me to go back?
And conveyed, I cannot believe my mom would do that to me. So I'm seeing Tylee again, and it feels like she bites her nails. That could be evidence for somebody who knows her. Because again, Tylee comes through really strong and she really wants to talk about this. So whatever your religious beliefs are, once you go on this once a one story, and possibly somebody later added a second story and maybe even still have two colors of paint. If the bottom story has one color and perhaps they left the top like stained wood, but not sure, I'm not positive. But there's just something like that where you could tell they added maybe a little bit up. It felt like the man went to the location where he buried a body more than one time.
Pause.
It felt like the girl is crying and conveying, I cannot believe my mom would do.
Kaz, was that it?
You've got this.
Yeah, the part about the man burying.
Going back to the site.
Yeah. Is that what you meant, Kaz?
Because for those that haven't followed the case, the children were actually found on Chad's property. So it was a family home.
Do this to me, do that to me. So I'm seeing Tylee again, and it feels like she bites her nails. That could be evidence for somebody who knows her. Because again, Tylee comes through really strong and she really wants to talk about this. So whatever your religious beliefs are, once you go on the other side, you realize that most of the structures to worship God and be in this love light are man-made and they're influenced, but you're over there and you realize, oh, okay. It's similar, like a lot of religions, it's similar. I probably shouldn't get into all that, but it's Tylee wants to talk. And if I could get anybody that knows her, that's willing to have a reading, we can get my mediumship, evidential mediumship is literally over 90% accurate. And the only people who've like went home and taken my readings and went line by line, it's 98% accurate. Now with the psychic, I'll be happy if 50% is accurate because I could have her and then I could, even if my mind will go, no. And then I'm like, why am I even doing this? It just, but I am also recognized as extremely good at this. So that's why I'm doing it. So here we go. So, okay, at that point, the spirits were waiting to see if I could go forward or if I needed to stop because it was just trauma energy. And people go, oh, why don't you just go back and check? Go back and check. No, if you really are going to go in there, you know what? You're going to be sitting there in all this energy of what happened. The energy of murder is horrific, and it actually could take even, you have to turn around and go do some really positive stuff, like go dunk in the ocean and stuff just to get rid of that energy. So it's pretty serious. And that's why I also am, after this, I don't plan on doing any more unless I have a family or friend of any of these people who is willing to do readings. And I would really like to do readings on every single one of them. Joe Ryan, Tammy Daybell, Charles Vallow, and the children. So anyways, I'm doing this, and I'm now back. I feel two spirits are now in front of me too. And there was an adult male with Tylee who I later identified to be Charles Vallow. But like I said, at that time, I did not know about him. So I really didn't want to give him to talk. I just figured he was with her. I did not know who the adult male was. I didn't allow him to talk at first. Later, I did allow him to connect and talk, and he showed me a few things. I told the spirit man, which I later confirmed to be Charles Vallow, that I would look online at what he was telling me, and if I could confirm some facts, I would send the information public. I then was shown a Malibu Ken doll. I felt like I'm gliding fast if I was on a ski, but I'm going down the side of a cliff. So the adult male shows me, he's looking out a window, he's drinking coffee and looking out his kitchen window, and a car pulls up. The important thing was the man is standing at the kitchen sink. He has a cup of coffee. They seem to, I don't think they would show me this if it wasn't important, but the color of the mug was either like a clay orange, clay red, or mucky brown, like a grayed down color. And then he was waiting. He knew someone was coming, and he was waiting for the person. So I think that must have been Alex who they were showing me doing that. And then again, I'm shown this husky dog in the toboggan again. Let's tie a husky dog by a harness to a toboggan, I think the man is showing me. So that means something to somebody somewhere. I do know that. I just don't know who. I was seeing somebody get shot, but the details I was seeing involved a rifle, not a handgun. So it is not exactly what happened. However, I knew I had been shot because I felt very sick to my stomach as I was laying on my side. So the firearm was not correct, and I don't know if there's how that ties in, but he was shot, that's for sure.
8 minutes, so back to 15. We'll come back to 23. Just remember 23.
Okay.
I just want to go back to where Kaz said.
They're showing me that. So I'm getting this feeling of a sociopath. And then later I started getting additional impressions of the mother also being a psychopath. So if you had a sociopath to start with, and then she became delusional over time, obsessed with these books, then she becomes a psychopath. So she's a sociopath that lost touch with reality. In my opinion, this is my opinion. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and I'm a former social worker, and I have worked with in the system. But this is only my opinion. Okay. Anyways, next they show me the house again, or the feelings that I picked up or whatever. Next they show me the house again. I feel like there's a front porch area. It's not a raised up porch. It's a flat porch, like concrete. I cannot even be 100% sure it's attached to the house on the lake. I feel like it is, but I'm not sure. Because I'm seeing it separately. I'm not seeing this whole thing. They're showing me this porch, this flat porch. It might have maybe like a foot high rim of like how they'd put a brick thing to make it feel like a patio, maybe a couple chairs, something like that. Now you think, who cares? Well, if somebody was there looking and they saw all this in this little outbuilding with these stripes, they'd be like, oh my God, let's walk to the edge, look to the left, down there where the river feeds in, and bam, there it is. So, but the point of it all was that I've been really given strong confirmation that somebody who knows, I feel like saying Chad and Tammy Daybell, somebody who knows all these people will actually know exactly where I'm talking about. Now, so when you're doing psychic work, you get one image after another like that, and sometimes they blend together. That's why it's the mistakes are usually when someone's developed as a medium, the mistakes are usually in the interpretation. So I must feel like this little house may have been built between the 50s and the 70s. Feels like it was once a one story, and possibly somebody later added a second story and maybe even still have two colors of paint. If the bottom story has one color and perhaps they left the top like stained wood, but not sure, I'm not positive. But there's just something like that where you could tell they added maybe a little bit up. It felt like the man went to the location where he buried a body more than one time. It felt like the girl is crying and conveying, I cannot believe my mom would do that to me. So I'm seeing Tylee again, and it feels like she bites her nails. That could be evidence for somebody who knows her. Because again, Tylee comes through really strong, and she really wants to talk about this. So whatever your religious beliefs are, once you go on the other side, you realize that most of the structures to worship God and be in this love light are man-made and they're influenced, but you're over there and you realize, oh, okay. It's similar, like a lot of religions, it's similar. I probably shouldn't get into all that, but it's Tylee wants to talk. And if I could get anybody that knows her, that's willing to have a reading, we can get my mediumship, evidential mediumship is literally over.
Sorry, it just takes me a second to get back and pause it. I'm just trying to find a picture of the actual house. I do think she was talking about Alex.
I agree. Because those are the three, the three main unalivers, if you will. Although I have wondered about the friends.
Well, you got to think it's Melanie Gibbs and all of that was around him.
Yep.
For 90% accurate.
And Alex knew a lot more than what people thought he knew too. Jimmy, that's what I mean when I said before that he was, besides Chad, he was her second person that was there all the time.
Exactly.
That's just my opinion.
Only people who've like went home and taken my readings and went line by line, it's 98% accurate. Now with the psychic, I'll be happy if 50% is accurate because
I
could have her and then I could, even if my mind will go, no. And
what's that, Dom?
Didn't you want to go back to 23 or something?
Yeah, I'm going back there now.
A rifle, not a handgun, so it is not exactly what happened. However, I knew I had been shot because I felt very sick to my stomach as I was laying on my side. So the firearm was not correct, and I don't know if there's how that ties in, but he was shot, that's for sure. So then I'm receiving very clearly very big chills. The woman is no victim. This is all from Charles. The woman is no victim. The mother of the children is the one that killed them, says this man who got shot. I'm getting chills now. Lori killed her children, according to Charles.
She has done, Kitty, she has done a lot of other cases as well. I don't know if I've seen her do the Watts, but it wouldn't surprise me. I know she's done a lot for Summer Wells. She's done a lot on Idaho. I think she done some on
Summer.
yeah, she's done quite a few cases. I didn't see the Watts one. If she did any on that one.
No, I think she offered it, and that SR turned it down. I don't know, Kitty. Do you have any video or anything of that, like, or photos, and we can look at it later if you send it to Ozzy? Okay, we better. Yeah.
So I didn't know what to make of this guy. And, you know, because it was a little outrageous for me to think a mother killing her children. And so I requested to speak to the girl again. I wanted to ignore this guy for a minute and ask the girl again. So what happens next? It's a blending of information because the spirits want to tell me something they're trying to get across, and I'm not really cooperating. I mean, I am because I've invited them, but I'm just like, who is this guy? Was my thought, you know? So what they did was they blend. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Thank you, sir. I want to talk to a little boy if he's in spirit. I still have never connected with the little boy. So, you know, that gives some hope he's still alive. But I don't know. So anyways, so they showed me the little boy, and they showed me this little boy playing with his toys, and then all of a sudden there's a loud bang. It's a gunshot. He's startled and turns around, feels like, oh, so then I assume that's the daughter being shot, because at this time I'm still thinking that's all I'm doing is trying to figure out what happened to these children. I'm not realizing this is a big, huge, convoluted story. And what did I say? It feels like the daughter was shot right there when you come in front door about 10 feet, like right in front of the kitchen. Like, I don't know why someone would do a murder just like that right there where there would be a big mess. Okay, so it was Charles that got shot right inside, 10 feet inside the front door, right by this kitchen area thing. It was Charles. So regardless of me saying, listen, mister, you just go away and I'm going to talk to this kid, they're going to.
I was about to say that if you actually watch the body cam of Charles when he passed, he was actually shot, and it was just outside the kitchen. Like, they were in the kitchen area, and then they went into another little room just off the kitchen when he passed. And it was Alex who had the gun at that time.
Yeah.
Like, okay, here's the kid, boom, and here's the gunshot. So that's how mediumship works. And the reason I believe at the time, I wasn't thinking that. I wasn't thinking anything. I just say what I get. But now I'm sure it was Charles Follow, because after watching the webcam and seeing the black and white tile and then seeing the location of his body, that was about him. Then I just saw a bunch of fast images. And you know what? I don't even think I need to repeat them here. It's just about like someone else dying. The girl, them. I just seen all this stuff and I don't want to talk about it, as I don't think it matters at this point. I think obviously if they don't have the bodies of the children, you know, we can all just hope that they're still alive and they're in this happy prepper camp and all this. Having said that, I don't know. We can all hope they're still alive. Let's just leave it that way. Confusion. Okay, suddenly they put me back at the lake and they showed me some instruments dropped into the lake. Okay, so that's essentially the end of reading number 1. So the next thing I did was every week I facilitate a mediumship development group, which is spirit communication and messages group at my house. I've been doing this for over 5 years, at least weekly. And during my 15 minutes, I asked for Tylee Ryan. I gave them no other information than that. I did not tell them who she was or that she was missing or anything like that. So this is what they picked up. First, somebody saw a baby being held in hay and the baby slipping through the arms of somebody holding it, which I later, you know, I think that's referencing a mother and her child. They saw 2 sawhorses, something getting mailed, something hit in the face like a plank that wasn't expected. She did not expect it, not at all. She did not know to look out for it. She trusted the people.
Hi,
Before
Jen. Sorry,
hi, Ozzy. Yeah, hi, Ozzy Jen. I just wanted to ask you, because I've only managed to sit through this like 1.5 times, but I just wanted to ask, when she said this about the mother, did she know about Tammy at that point? Like, when?
No.
Okay.
No, she only knew that the 2 children were missing. And that's what I mean. Like, I know we all know the facts of how it ended, but you've got to understand at the time, she didn't even know about Charles at the time. So that's why she's saying like men or this person, because she didn't know who all the players were.
Okay. Thanks.
Because as I said, this was just after the children were reported missing and a good couple of months before. I think it was like 6 months before they were found.
People who did this to her. So right away, they're talking about her being dead. Well, obviously, okay, if it's a spirit thing. But they're picking up that she was murdered. I never said she was murdered. Some gross dark-haired guy, which is probably Alex. Orange construction sign and construction helmet. Construction sign says deer crossing. So that leads me to believe that she was killed in Idaho. Even though this one spirit on the EVP says she was never left Arizona, that she was murdered there. But any spirit could come on the EVP, and I lend the credibility of them at about 20%. And I led the credibility of mediumship at over 90%. And then I probably put the credibility of the regular psychic impressions, maybe 50%, just because the mind can kind of wander and freak out and stuff. Just how like they did the information when I said, no, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to the boy. And then they're like, show me that. Okay. So anyways, she sees deer and they look like big antlers, but they're pointy. She thinks they're different than regular deer antlers. Somebody on one of the YouTube videos later said that was an elk, but you know, we don't know. She's just seen these big pointy antlers. She's getting a strong pain in the area of her face. I'm touching here, but I don't know where. It's like she's walking through a house that's being built. Someone else says it's a heavy blow. I'm assuming it's a man only because it's such a heavy blow that it crushes it. She says she doesn't have any energy about it being a man, though. She just assumed that because of the strength of the blow. So a lot of times when you're really right, they'll give you all these big chills and stuff. And she wasn't getting that energy about it being a man. So it may have been Lori herself who did that. As I was getting to that, I don't know if it was Chad or Alex that if that's what she wanted, was to murder her children, they would help her, but she was going to have to take the first steps herself, so she would not be able to blame it on anybody.
Nice.
Aussie Jan's comment.
She is, yeah, I've got her on my Facebook as well. That's how I got permission to play this. And like, Jimmy, don't get me wrong, I know people's theory on psychics, and even though I'm into the spirit world, as we all know, I don't believe a lot of psychics, but I do have a lot of belief and faith, if you could say, in Reverend Donna. She's very, everything I've seen her do is very, very close to what's been said, if that makes sense.
Else later. So then I asked my group
Yes,
possibly what kind of area where her body was put. This girl, NG, she said where they were building houses.
yes, Kaz, it is Reverend Donna Santa Fe now.
Now she's brand new, and the other two ladies have been there for approximately 3 years. So they're further along in development. So how much stock you put into things matters. Like this one, she's been here for 3 or 4 years. It says, when you say that, I go back to the antlers like deer crossing. And NG, the new girl, says, when it happened, there was houses being built like new housing tracts. Now, you can throw that away or keep it. So this is what you do. You see all these clues. Somebody knows somewhere, but you also have to take it with how it was received. Colette has an M, but she didn't know what that was too. Okay, so after that, the next morning is when I decided to start reading about it and looking in the groups and seeing what was up. It was then that I realized that this involved multiple states, multiple agencies, and more victims in addition to the children. So I decided to put the info online. I have info from other murders, actually quite a few of them, but I've never put them online. But I just decided to do that because there's all these different states involved and all these different victims. It's mind-blowing. So soon after that, I was at my sink doing dishes. I felt Tylee come into my awareness, and I told her I would meditate later. And if she came to me then, I would do another session. And then that was session 3. It felt to me like she was actually showing me. In fact, if you look, the one of session 3 is actually mostly good memories, or the kind of life memories. And maybe that is to confirm to people that it was actually her. So I'm not going to repeat all those. You can look at session 3 if you want to see about that, because I'm trying to stick to here possible clues. She was just showing me like a lot of stuff, like happier time swimming, throwing a gold or chain trinket into the pool, diving for it, hanging on some man's back. I love, a lot of love sent out to people. She just waves of love, waves. She's just a good person. She cares inside. So she's different than her mother in that way. She shows me a pad of paper, 5 inches by 7 inches with a bunch of writing on it, and flips the top over.
I'm going to have to get you a bell. Your pause is so quiet.
I was just going to say, I just liked how she said that Tylee, I'm assuming she's referring to Tylee, was very different from her mother, because, you know, some people assume that, maybe, and I have seen this, that they think, you know, maybe there's always a bunch of people who are just crazy, think the people who build shrines to BK kind of thing. And they're saying, Tylee must have been like Rory, you know, and I'm just like,
No.
Yuck. Yeah. So I'm glad Donna said that, because it's important that the victims don't get dragged into
See, I see it as, and this is something personal. Like, I know I've spoke about it at times. Like, my dad, I don't have any contact with him anymore, but he went to jail for attempted murder. Reason I don't have contact with him. But I remember I was about 8 or 9 years old, and my nana took me in. My nana brought me up, like, after my dad went to jail. And I remember I said to Nana one day, I said, I'm scared that one day I will be like my father. And it's something that always was a fear to me. And my Nana said to me, you're either going to grow up exactly like your dad or you'll grow up nothing like him. And do you know what I mean? I decided that I didn't want to be nothing like him. So I do the opposite to everything he does in life.
That's
But
great.
yeah, I definitely don't think. I mean, you look at them and you can just tell they weren't like her. I have so many things I could say about Laurie, but I just really don't want to say it on here because
Yeah.
the channel would be closed down within a second, I'm sure of it. But those two children were beautiful. They were innocent. Do you know what I mean? I know she speaks a lot about Tylee, but that's, if anyone knows Reverend Donna's story, she lost her own daughter. Her own daughter comes to her quite often. And even today, she'll still talk about how Tylee was like her daughter and was just there all the time. So I'd be interested to know if she still comes and visits her now, but she always speaks so highly of Tylee visiting her. I know she was also talking about whether JJ was still with us or not. The only thing we do know is that Tylee was taken first. So I don't know if some of those readings that she was doing was in between the two passings, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, because according
JJ
to
was
the
still here with us at the time.
according to FBI, there was 3 weeks between
The two
Tylee and JJ.
Yeah. So she could have been doing those readings, being the reason why she might not have picked up JJ. And then Jimin.
Yeah.
Another thing is, not all spirits are going to come forward. Do you know what I mean? Just because we want them to. You see it when people do you mean spirit boxes and things like that? Not all spirits are going to come forward. If they have no unfinished business or nothing here, they can just go straight into the lights and not come forward. If that makes sense too.
Yeah.
It's not going to go back. Hang on, my computer's having a moment.
Just check the comment.
Hi, beautiful Tia. How are you? Sorry, my computer's just thinking, so I'm going a bit slow at the moment while it comes back to me.
That's okay. Well, we yes, for those overseas who people in Australia would, like 99 would probably have heard by now, but there was a series of knife attacks in Bondi Junction in Australia. Ozzy heard it before I did, so she knows a lot more, but we might be covering that later if Ozzy wants to.
I mentioned it at the start. I'm going to put something together. So we had a gentleman, he'd moved from Queensland to New South Wales. Some people are saying it was only a month before, like, that he moved there, but I've been on his Facebook and it looks like he was there for longer than a month. Not that that matters. But he went to Westfield, what's one of our big shopping centres here. Well, not here, but like in Sydney. And he sadly took 6 lives, 7 including himself, because the officer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got him as well. And I think there's like 12 people still in hospital, some from critical to not critical. But my prayers at the moment are going to a 9-month-old baby that was stabbed by it. The mother passed away, but the mother threw the baby into the hands of people that she didn't know just to try and save the baby. But he did get the baby, and she's been in surgery and she's now in intensive care. So my prayers are going out to all their family members. Come on, my computer. It's just not going back.
Comment, Aussie. But here.
Yeah, Tia, I'm going to put something together with the conference and everything. It's still very fresh. It was only 24 hours ago. We just hit 3 o'clock here now, and it was about this time yesterday. So a lot of information still filtering through. I've got quite a bit of footage at the moment that I've been collecting. I know I've been sending it to MacJ, and she's like, oh, I don't even know if we can put all of it out because some of them are pretty gruesome pictures.
We may be able to put some of them on the members only Discord, but
yeah,
I'll
definitely open something in the Discord and start putting some of it up there as well. But right now, I think it's just prayers for all the family, and my computer's not coming back to me. Oh, don't you love it? It picks a perfect time to just say, right, I'm going to have a moment.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So,
I've just got like this little spinning wheel of death, so I'm trying to go back. It's fine.
So, yeah, it broke out. I don't know, Ozzy will have to... I didn't learn about this until 11 o'clock at night. I learned it from a friend who lives about 20 minutes away from Bondi Junction. He asked me, oh, did you see the news? And I'm like, I don't watch non-crime news much anymore. Because obviously it takes a lot of work in my free time to help Aussie. So it just didn't come across my feed or anything. And yeah, so it's the media just was still posting updates at like 11:30 at night last night, and there's just no way Aussie and I could get all that and throw it together this morning, you know?
I'm still collecting it. It's still coming through. Yeah, most of them were women that, and that's how cowardly he was. Do you know what I mean? It's, yeah. We might have to do this in part 2 because my computer's just completely not doing anything that.
Oh, it's been a tech day today, isn't it?
I'm just getting a wheel of, I call it my wheel of death at the moment. But
oh, I my microphone, my headset, I could talk the microphone, but I could not hear the intro. I could not hear you. So then I reset, and I still couldn't get it to work. And then I sent you a text on Messenger, and I'm like, I've got to get my iPad. We both had tech problems today.
Everything's stopped on me at the moment. I've still got net. I'm checking my net and it's still there. But nothing is moving.
I'm wondering if it's because of the YouTube update.
I'll stop talking about that. I don't have it yet. Thank God. They've been telling me about this update, and I think I showed her, what was it, 42 updates I had to do on my phone, and it's like I haven't updated and I'm not doing it because
no, don't update YouTube yet.
Mine's still normal.
No, I don't know how. It doesn't look like it affects StreamYard. but it definitely cuts off the chat, and I just hate it. It's ugly. I want YouTube to roll it back already. So if you've seen me before or Aussie before in chats, and they suddenly you don't see us anymore, it's because of that stupid update. Do you?
Yeah, it's not coming back. Even my
Yeah,
chat
definitely agree.
the only reason I
Part
can see
two.
chat is because I'm watching it on my phone.
But we'll, I'll talk
Apparently,
to.
Bondi
What's
Rescue
happened?
Lifeguards were there. I was just reading Kaz's comment. Apparently, Bondi Rescue Lifeguards were there. There was a lot.
Oh, do you see
I know the officer that took him down wasn't actually called. She was just around the area and she heard it come over and she went straight in. Do you know what I mean? She took him on. There was even people, the public were trying to help. They had chairs and everything trying to stop him from coming upstairs, and there's just so many. Look on TikTok, there's so many videos of people just running for their lives. It's horrible.
But yeah, a lot of content, because obviously it was a shopping mall. A lot of people had their phones and videos. But there's a lot of stuff, and Ozzy and I have already been really busy in real life, and as well as this, so it's just not possible for us to keep it all together. But yeah, but there's a lot of content out there. I don't know. Have you seen any Americans or anyone overseas try and cover it yet, Ozzy?
No.
Because I'm sure they'll have the same amount of fun as we do with Idaho pronunciations.
Hang on, I'm trying to come in on my phone to see if that fixes it. Not that it's probably going to.
Oh, okay, Tia. That's probably hasn't hit them yet. I know it's hit the UK news, but
I will put something together and have something up by tomorrow, Tia. So even when it's just small, I'll have something.
and we'll definitely put something up in the Facebook group or something. Yeah. I'm just tired, really tired.
Hang on, I'm trying to.
If anyone wants, we put the image of Gypsy Rose crime scene. Some of the photos are now up.
Sorry, I'm trying to come in on my phone so that I can.
What if you mean Gypsy Rose files? They're up on members only Discord. I'm pretty sure you can. But if you're talking about the Australian stuff for this, I don't know, because Ozzy and I would obviously get stuff that is region blocked. So I don't know what Ozzy wants to do about that. But like I said, it literally came late last night to me and earlier to Ozzy. It happened yesterday, which is a Saturday. So it was also really busy for Ozzy and I, being Saturday.
And it's the last weekend of school holidays too, because we've got everyone off on Easter holidays at the moment. So being the last weekend, obviously there was a lot of people there. My computer's still frozen. It's not coming back to me. You might have to end the stream.
Okay. Do you when you want me to, you'll have to tell me what to do first.
Okay. All right, we'll end it there and we'll do a part 2 where we'll watch the rest of this, because
but can you Just before that, can you answer this, Ozzy? Because I don't know what to say. I think Tia was.
You have to
I
put it
think
up for me
Tia's.
because my chat's frozen. I can only see on my.
Oh, your chat's frozen. Okay, so.
No, I can see it on my iPad. So if you put it up, I can see it.
Oh, okay.
I haven't heard. I will look into it. Maybe share what you put up. Of course, Tia, 100%. And as I said, I'll put something together. Once I get off this stream, I'm going to reset my computer again, and I will definitely put something together and have it out. If it's not tonight, it'll be first thing tomorrow morning, and 100% you have my permission to share it.
Yeah, I'll be putting more stuff up on the Discord later.
Kaz, we're all still learning Discord. Trust me.
Yeah, we're all still learning Discord. But if you're a member and you're in the Discord, I've just started putting up some of the stuff we can't show about our series on Gypsy Rose on YouTube. So if you were wondering what Ozzy meant about one of the wounds on Dee Dee's body, you can now find it up on Discord.
Yeah. But we're all still learning about the Discord. I have got it for members only, but I don't want to circle people out. Hang on, I've just lost everything.
Okay. Yeah, we'll put. Oh. Is she still here at all? Are you in the chat, Ozzy? Someone needs to tell me what to do to end the stream. Oh, 2 secs, reloading. Okay. But yeah, we'll post some stuff on the Facebook group too. But yeah. Also, so this comes from Ozzy, not. Oh, you back? Okay. You back?
Sorry.
I was just trying
my computer back.
I was just trying to hold the thing while you hold down the fort while you were you were having tech problems. Just like. Okay, can I mention the Samantha update?
Yep, go for it.
Okay, so for those of you who've been following Samantha Murphy with us, check a previous live. Ozzy did. I think it wasn't the one before this, but the one before that. That lady who disappeared. Ozzy told me this morning that the police have been stopping searches because the husband keeps interfering and turning up 30 minutes later. So
I understand. Do you mean if your partner's missing? I know I would be the same. If someone took spirit time from me, I would search every part of the earth for him. I know that. But obviously law enforcement don't want the husband to come across the body. And they are trying so hard. They keep setting searches up. There was a search yesterday that was cancelled because of it. There was a search the day before. But all I know is the husband. Do you mean Ballarat's only a small town? We're not talking about a big town, but he's turning up at all the search sites 20 to 30 minutes after law enforcement are there. And that's just causing them to continue to shut down the searches. So obviously they're getting intel, but he's making it very hard. And it just, I know they've got a person that they're saying done it, but it just, I don't know, it just leaves questions why he keeps interfering and just not letting law enforcement do their part. in Samantha Murphy.
It's yeah.
But anyway, we'll leave it like that while I've got my computer going. I'm going to close this off. I will get something together. As I said, I'll start working on it now and I will get it out. If it's not out tonight, it will be out first thing tomorrow, because obviously there's still a lot of information coming in. We'll try and put what we can in Discord, and that's what I was saying about Discord. It is open to members, but I don't want to hold people that can't afford a membership from it. Obviously, I can't just open it to everyone, but if you're not a member and you can't join as a member and you want to join the Discord, just get hold of me or 𝔬𝔱 and we will get an invitation sent out to you. We're not trying to hold information out. It was, as I said, it was just a perk, but it's something that we do want to offer everyone. So I know there are some people out there that can't afford memberships. If you are one of those people, just grab me on 𝔬𝔱 and we will get an invite out to you. Other than that, is there anything else you want to say before I lose my computer again?
No, I can still see you. But yeah, also, if you see something, say something. You know, in terms of a crime, like, you never know, that footage that you take of someone could lead to helping a family recover their lost one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
All right, well, we love you all, and we will do a part 2 where we finish this one and go on to some of the body cams as well, because we do want to go through it. I'm busy the next couple of days because tomorrow's Nana's Day. I have my grandchildren, and Monday's always Nana's Day. Tuesday, I have to take Spirit Time to the fracture clinic because sadly, those who know that he's had his leg in a moon boot because he fractured his ankle or something to do down there. I'm taking him to the fracture clinic on Tuesday. So maybe Wednesday, we'll try and come back and do a part 2 and finish this video. But please watch out. I will put something out about Bondi as well. Spirit Tom, I don't even understand what you just wrote. He's trying to say something. Okay, orthodontical surgeon appointment. That's what we have. Well, that's what he has. So that's what I'll be taking him to. But other than that, please send wishes to everyone in the Bondi incident, and we'll see you all later.
Yes,
thank you,
will.
everyone. See ya.
See ya.
There's too much that's going on, I don't know what to do. Paralyzed by options in this world, can't pick and choose. Yeah, everybody's life is on display, including you. Yeah, I feel every day is just the same, stuck in a loop. I need some variety, I'm sick of this anxiety. I'm sick of this society, they make us feel a rivalry. Compare ourselves to others, but we all got different mothers. We were raised in different structures, so we're different, it's no wonder, yeah. I just want a great life, something where I feel like I just didn't waste time. Something I look back and say that was a great time. Cause man, I just hate when the years pass by the wayside. I'm lost inside, and I need a little time to find who I am in this life. I will find a way to feel alive. I'm so